The wind howled across the empty plains of Nexus 7. Dust swirled around the dig site where 3 people in protective suits worked under twin purple suns. "Taiho, you need to see this," called Jiwoo. Her voice crackled through the comm system as she brushed dirt from a shining surface. Taiho Kin walked over, his steps careful in the low gravity. For 5 years, he had led this team searching for proof of the lost civilization. Now something gleamed beneath the dirt, something that shouldn't be there. "What is it?" he asked, kneeling beside her. "I don't know, but it's not rock." Jiwoo's eyes were wide behind her face shield. Her hands, steady from years of field work, brushed more dirt away. Captain Hyun K. Lee joined them, his tall form casting a shadow over the find. Unlike the 2 scientists, Hyun Ki wore a military-grade suit with the Galactic Research Fleet symbol on the shoulder. "Is it dangerous?" he asked, one hand resting on his weapon. "Everything unknown is dangerous until proven safe," said Taiho with a small smile. "But this is special." As more dirt fell away, they saw a crystal structure. It was clear like glass but had a blue glow deep inside. Strange marks covered its surface. "It's writing," whispered Jiwoo. Taiho nodded. "From the 3rd era, I think, before the Great Silence." The Great Silence was when all signs of life on Nexus 7 had stopped. No one knew why. One day the planet had cities and people. The next day, nothing. Just empty buildings and quiet machines. "We should call this in," said Hyun Ki, always following the rules. "Not yet," said Taiho. "Just a few more minutes." Jiwoo touched the crystal surface. Suddenly, the blue glow grew brighter. The 3 jumped back as light shot up from the crystal. In the air above them, a shape formed, a figure made of light. The figure looked almost human but too tall, with long arms and a strange head. When it spoke, the sound seemed to come from everywhere. "We were the first. We walked among stars when your worlds were still forming. We built, we learned, we grew, and then we met the darkness." The 3 watchers stood frozen, staring at the ghost-like shape. "This is a warning," the figure continued. "A warning and a hope. Among all worlds we found, one holds the key. The blue world, the water world, the world you call Earth." "Earth," whispered Hyun Ki. "That's in the protected zone. Pre-FTL civilization." The figure's voice grew quieter, breaking up like a bad signal. "They carry what we lost. They hold what the darkness fears. When the void returns, look to Earth. Look to the humans. They err." The message stopped. The blue light flickered and dimmed. "No." Jiwoo touched the crystal again. "Come back. What about Earth? What do the humans have?" But the light was fading. The figure disappeared. The crystal grew dim. Just a clear stone with faint blue lines inside. For a long moment, no one spoke. The wind continued to blow dust across the empty planet. "Did we record that?" Taiho finally asked, his voice shaking. Hyun Ki nodded. "Full audio and visual. Standard procedure." "Good." Taiho looked at the crystal, now just a strange rock in the dirt. "Because no one is going to believe us otherwise." Jiwoo sat back on her heels. "The first, the ancient spirits, they were real, not just stories." "And they knew about Earth," said Hyun Ki. "A pre-FTL world under protection laws. Why would they care about humans?" Taiho stood up, decision made. "We need to take this back. The full translation team needs to see this." "The Council won't like it," warned Hyun Ki. "Earth is off limits by galactic law." Taiho looked up at the empty sky. "I think the rules just changed, Captain. Something happened here, something that killed an entire civilization. And whatever it was, they thought Earth was important." Jiwoo carefully lifted the crystal. "What do you think it means?" "They carry what we lost." "I don't know," said Taiho. "But I think we're going to find out." Above them, the twin suns of Nexus 7 began to set, casting long shadows across the ruins of a world that had died without explanation. A world that had left only one message behind, a warning about Earth. The halls of the Galactic Research Institute were always quiet. Today, they were almost silent. The tension hung in the air like a heavy cloud. Du Yun Kang hadn't slept in 3 days. Her eyes burned as she stared at the screens around her. The crystal from Nexus 7 sat in a special chamber nearby, its faint blue glow the only source of light besides her computers. Any progress? The voice made her jump. Sang-Min Cho, the Institute's director, stood in the doorway. His face was hard to read in the dim light, but his voice gave away his impatience. "Some," said Du Yun. She pointed to one screen. "I've matched 7 more symbols to the ancient language database. The message is longer than what played for the field team." Sang-Min walked closer. "What have you learned?" "The beings call themselves the Architects. They claim to have visited thousands of worlds." Du Yun pushed her short black hair away from her face. "Most people thought they were just myths. And they're warning about Earth." Du Yun sighed. "It's still not clear. They say Earth has something, a quality or ability, something that might help fight against. I'm not sure what. The translation uses the word void, but it could mean many things." Sang-Min frowned. "This is taking too long. The council is asking questions. Rumors are spreading." "Language takes time," said Du Yun. Her voice was firm despite her tiredness. "These symbols haven't been used in over 10,000 years." The door opened again. Tae-ho Kim walked in, followed by Ji-woo Park. Both looked as tired as Du Yun. "We brought food," said Ji-woo, placing a container on the desk. She smiled at Du Yun. "You need to eat." "Thank you," said Du Yun. She didn't touch the food. Tae-ho looked at the screens. "How's it going?" "Slowly," said Du Yun. "But I think I found something important." She pointed to a section of symbols. "This part talks about Earth's people, humans. It says they have something in their minds, souls. The word is hard to translate. Whatever it is, the Architects thought it was special." "Special how?" asked Sang-Min. "I don't know yet, but they were afraid of something that destroyed their civilization, and they thought humans might be able to fight it." Ji-woo sat down next to Du Yun. "It doesn't make sense. Earth is a protected planet because they're still developing. How could they fight something that killed an advanced species like the Architects?" "Maybe that's why Earth is protected," said Tae-ho quietly. "Maybe it's not about letting them develop. Maybe it's about keeping them safe until they're needed." The room fell silent as they considered this idea. Sang-Min broke the silence. "The council meeting is tomorrow. I need something concrete to tell them." "Tell them this," said Du Yun, pointing to a newly translated section. "The Architects say, the void consumes consciousness itself. Only the Earthborn carry the spark that can illuminate the darkness." "What does that mean?" asked Sang-Min. "I don't know," admitted Du Yun. "But it sounds like the Architects believe humans have some quality that can fight this void. Something unique." "This is going to cause problems," said Sang-Min. "The military branch will want to study Earth more closely. They might even want to make contact." "That would break the non-interference laws," said Ji-woo. "Laws can be changed," said Sang-Min darkly, "especially when people are afraid." Tae-ho looked at the crystal. "We need to finish the translation before they make any decisions. If the Architects were right, if Earth is important somehow, we need to understand why." Du Yun nodded and turned back to her screens. "I'll keep working." As the others left, she stared at the ancient symbols, trying to unravel their meaning. Somewhere in these patterns was the truth about Earth, and perhaps the fate of the galaxy itself. Outside the Institute, the news was already spreading. Earth, a small blue planet in a distant arm of the galaxy, might hold the key to fighting an ancient enemy. An enemy that had once made the mighty Architects fade into nothing but memory and dust. The Galactic Council chamber was a large round room with tall windows. Stars shone through the glass, lighting the faces of the 12 council members who sat at a curved table. Chancellor Yunhee Ba stood at the center of the room. Her silver robe caught the starlight as she spoke. "We have heard the reports about the crystal found on Nexus 7, she said. Her voice was calm but firm. "Now we must decide what to do about Earth." Commander Junho Ri, head of the military branch, spoke first. He was a tall man with a serious face and short gray hair. "We should send warships," he said. "If Earth has something that can fight the void, we need to control it. It could be a weapon, or it could be the people themselves," said diplomat Su Jin Nam. She was smaller than Junho, but her voice was just as strong. "We cannot treat humans like weapons. They are living beings." "Living beings who don't know about the rest of the galaxy," said Junho. "They are still fighting among themselves. They are not ready." "The architects thought they were special," Su Jin reminded him. Chancellor Yunhee raised her hand for quiet. "We have called the experts. Let us hear from them before we decide." The doors opened. Tai-Ho Kim, Du-Yun Kang, and Captain Hyun-Ki Lee entered the chamber. They bowed to the council. "Tell us what you have learned," said Chancellor Yunhee. Du-Yun stepped forward. "The message from the architects is a warning. They speak of a force they call the void. It does not destroy planets or stars. It consumes consciousness itself." "What does that mean?" asked a council member. "We think it means it eats minds," said Du-Yun. "It takes the thoughts, memories, and feelings of living beings. The architects fought it for a long time, but they lost." "And Earth?" asked Chancellor Yunhee. "What does Earth have to do with this?" "The architects visited Earth long ago," said Tai-Ho. "They found something in humans that was different from other species, a quality in their minds that might resist the void." "What quality?" asked Junho sharply. "We don't know exactly," admitted Tai-Ho. "The message doesn't say." "So what are you suggesting?" asked Chancellor Yunhee. Captain Hyun-Ki stepped forward. "We should send a small team to Earth. Not warships, not an invasion force, just a few people to learn more." "That would break the non-interference rules," said a council member. "Rules can be changed when survival is at stake," said Hyun-Ki. The room fell silent. Everyone looked at Chancellor Yunhee. "The rules about pre-FTL worlds exist for good reasons," she said slowly. "We have seen what happens when advanced technology is given to developing species. It rarely ends well." "We don't need to give them anything," said Su Jin. "We just need to learn more about them." Chancellor Yunhee thought for a long time. Then she nodded. "Very well. We will send a small team to Earth. They will observe only. No contact with humans, unless absolutely necessary." Junho frowned, but did not argue. "Who will go?" asked Su Jin. "Captain Hyun-Ki will lead the mission," said Chancellor Yunhee. "Du-Yun Kang will go as communications specialist, and Ji-Woo Park will be the science advisor." "When do we leave?" asked Hyun-Ki. "Immediately," said Chancellor Yunhee. "Our long-range sensors have detected strange energy patterns at the edge of the galaxy. They match the descriptions in the architect's warning. We may not have much time." The three chosen team members looked at each other. They would be the first to officially visit Earth in thousands of years. "Remember," said Chancellor Yunhee, "this is reconnaissance only. Learn what you can about humans. Find out what makes them special, and then report back." "And if we find something important?" asked Du-Yun. Chancellor Yunhee's face was grave. "Then the future of the galaxy may depend on what you do next." As they left the chamber, Hyun-Ki felt the weight of their mission. They were going to a forbidden world to find a power they didn't understand, to fight an enemy they couldn't see. He hoped the architects were right about Earth. He hoped humans really were special. Otherwise, the galaxy might face the same fate as Nexus 7. Empty cities, silent machines, and a civilization that faded without a trace. The ship Eternal Dawn moved silently through the darkness of space. It was small but fast, with special shields that made it hard to see on scanners. Perfect for a secret mission. In the control room, Captain Hyun-Ki Lee watched the blue planet grow larger on the main screen. Earth, home to billions of humans, a world that might hold the key to fighting the void. Are we still hidden? He asked. Jae-woo checked her screens. Yes, our cloaking system is working perfectly. Earth's sensors shouldn't detect us. Good, said Hyun-Ki. Let's keep our distance for now. Do-yeon sat at the communication station, listening to Earth's broadcasts. Her eyes were wide with surprise. Captain, I'm picking up transmissions from all over the planet, she said. And from Mars. And from bases on several moons in this system. That can't be right, said Ji-woo, moving to look at Do-yeon's screen. Our records show Earth as a pre-FTL civilization. They shouldn't have bases beyond their planet yet. Well, they do, said Do-yeon, and they're talking about mining operations on asteroids. They even have a colony ship heading to a planet they call New Terra in a nearby star system. Hyun-Ki frowned. Our information is clearly outdated. How advanced are they? Jae-woo studied the sensor readings. They haven't developed true faster-than-light travel yet. But they're close. They're using some kind of limited space-folding technology for travel within their solar system. That's impossible, said Hyun-Ki. Earth was at a primitive development stage just a few hundred years ago. No species advances that quickly on their own. Unless they had help, said Do-yeon quietly. The architects said they visited Earth long ago. Maybe they left more than just warnings. The three looked at each other as they considered this idea. Look at this, said Ji-woo suddenly. She pointed to another screen. I'm detecting energy shields around Earth and defense satellites. Hundreds of them. Defensive technology too, asked Hyun-Ki. What else can you see? Jae-woo adjusted the sensors. Ships. Many ships leaving Earth for different parts of the solar system. Some are large, carrying what looks like building materials. Others are smaller, probably personal transport. They're expanding, said Do-yeon. Preparing. For what? Asked Hyun-Ki. I don't know, admitted Do-yeon. But it's almost like they're getting ready for something. Hyun-Ki made a decision. We need to get closer. I want to see these humans with my own eyes. The council said observation only. Do-yeon reminded him. No direct contact. We'll stay hidden, promised Hyun-Ki. But we need better information. These humans are not what we expected. Jae-woo set a new course that would take them closer to Earth. The eternal dawn moved smoothly through the darkness, its engines barely a whisper. As they approached, they saw more signs of human activity. Space stations orbited Earth like small moons. Ships moved between Earth and Mars in a steady stream. Lights sparkled on the dark side of Earth's natural moon. They've accomplished so much in such a short time, said Ji-woo with wonder in her voice. Or they had a big head start, said Hyun-Ki. If the architects left them technology. There's something else, interrupted Do-yeon. I'm picking up strange energy readings from Earth itself. They match the patterns in the architect's crystal. Where are they coming from? Asked Hyun-Ki. Everywhere, said Do-yeon. It's like the whole planet is humming with that energy. Suddenly, alarms blared through the ship. Red lights flashed on every screen. What's happening? Demanded Hyun-Ki. Something hit us, said Ji-woo, her fingers flying over the controls. A beam from a small satellite we didn't detect. It was hidden behind a larger one. Damage report, ordered Hyun-Ki. Engine systems failing, reported Ji-woo. Our cloaking shield is down. Captain, they can see us now. Hyun-Ki looked at the blue planet growing larger in their viewport. Can we get away? Jae-woo shook her head. Not without engines. We're being pulled toward Earth by its gravity. Then we have no choice, said Hyun-Ki grimly. Prepare for emergency landing, and hope these humans are as special as the architects thought they were. The eternal dawn fell toward Earth, trailing smoke and sparks, as the first contact between galactic civilization and humanity approached in a way no one had planned. The eternal dawn crashed in a forest. Trees broke under its weight as the ship slid across the ground, finally stopping in a small clearing. Inside, the 3 crew members picked themselves up from the floor. "Is everyone okay?" asked Hyun-K, touching a cut on his forehead. "I'm fine," said Jiwoo, though her arm hung at an odd angle. "Just bumps and bruises," said Do-Yeon. She looked at her screens, most now dark or cracked. "But the ship is badly damaged." Hyun-Ki moved to the main window. Through the trees, he could see mountains in the distance. The air outside looked clear, with a blue sky above. "Where are we?" he asked. Jiwoo checked the one working map screen. "A place called Korea, on the Asian continent." "Can we fix the ship?" asked Hyun-Ki. Jiwoo shook her head. "Not quickly. We need parts and tools, which we don't have," said Do-Yeon with a sigh. "Then we need to hide," said Hyun-Ki. "Earth's authorities will be looking for whatever crashed here. We can't let them find us or the ship." They gathered what supplies they could and covered the ship with branches and leaves. It wasn't perfect, but it might buy them time. Night fell as they finished. They sat in the clearing, eating emergency rations when they heard a sound. Twigs breaking. Someone was coming. Hyun-Ki reached for his weapon. "Hide," he whispered. But it was too late. A light shone through the trees, and then a man stepped into the clearing. He was older, with gray hair and deep lines on his face. Behind him came a young woman, tall and slim with short black hair. The man's light fell on the ship, poorly hidden under branches. Then it moved to the 3 aliens. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the man lowered his light. "You're hurt," he said, pointing to Jiwoo's arm. His voice was calm, as if finding aliens in the woods was normal. "Who are you?" asked Hyun-Ki, still holding his weapon. "My name is Hejun Kim," said the man. "This is my daughter, Minji. Your ship set off alarms at our monitoring station." "You knew we were here?" asked Do-Yeon in surprise. Minji nodded. "Earth has sensors all through the solar system. We detected your ship days ago." "Then why aren't there soldiers here?" asked Hyun-Ki. "Or government agents?" Hejun smiled slightly. "Because our station is private, not official. We're part of the Watchers," explained Minji. Her eyes were bright with excitement as she looked at the aliens. "We've been waiting for contact for a long time." "The Watchers," repeated Do-Yeon. "What is that?" "A global organization," said Hejun. "We protect Earth's special knowledge left by those you might call the architects." The 3 aliens stared in shock. "You know about the architects?" asked Jiwoo. "We've always known," said Minji. "They came to Earth thousands of years ago. They taught us, helped us, and they warned us about what was coming." "The void," whispered Do-Yeon. Hejun's face grew serious. "Yes, the thing that eats minds. The thing that made the architects disappear." "But how do you know all this?" asked Hyun-Ki. "Our records show Earth as a pre-FTL civilization. You shouldn't even know about other planets yet." "The records are wrong," said Hejun. "Or outdated. The architects left us technology and knowledge, hidden in secret places around the world. The Watchers have protected these gifts for generations, slowly sharing them when humanity was ready." "That's why we've advanced so quickly," added Minji. "We had help." "But why didn't you announce yourselves to the galaxy?" asked Do-Yeon. "Why stay hidden?" "Because we weren't ready yet," said Hejun. "And because the architects told us to wait. They said when the time was right, the galaxy would come to us." He looked at the 3 aliens standing in the clearing, next to their broken ship. "I think the time has come," he said. "You need help with your ship, and we need to know why you're here." "You're not going to report us?" asked Hyun-Ki. Min-jae laughed. "Who would we report you to? Besides, my father and I are scientists. I study xenobiology. Meeting real aliens is a dream come true. Let us help you, said Hojun. And perhaps you can help us too. Hyun-ki looked at his crew. Then he put away his weapon and nodded. We accept your help, he said. And we have much to talk about. As they followed the two humans through the dark forest, none of them knew that at the edge of the galaxy, the first planets were already going dark as the void began to move once more. Hejun's home was built into the side of a mountain. From the outside, it looked like a simple cabin. Inside, it was filled with advanced technology. This place is amazing, said Jiwoo, looking at screens showing data from all over the solar system. Her arm was now in a proper sling, treated by Minji. We need to stay connected, said Hejun. The Watchers have bases like this all over the world. Hyun-ki sat at a table drinking something hot that Minji called tea. Du-yeon sat beside him, still trying to understand everything they had learned. So the architects came to Earth thousands of years ago, asked Du-yeon. Minji nodded. They found something in humans that surprised them, something they hadn't seen in any other species. What was it? Asked Hyun-ki. Our minds, said Hejun. Human consciousness works differently than other beings. We create. We imagine things that don't exist yet. We feel deeply, and we can share these thoughts with each other. All species can communicate, said Jiwoo. Not like humans, said Minji. We don't just share information. We share emotions, dreams, ideas. Our minds can connect on a deeper level. The architects called it the spark. The spark that can illuminate the darkness, whispered Du-yeon, remembering the translation. Yes, said Hejun. That's why they left us technology and knowledge. They knew the void would return someday. They'd wanted us to be ready. And what is the void exactly? Asked Hyun-ki. Minji moved to a computer and brought up an image. It showed a dark cloud moving through space, swallowing stars. The void is an entity that feeds on consciousness, she explained. It doesn't care about planets or resources. It wants minds. It absorbs them, adding their knowledge to itself. But it can't absorb human minds, said Hejun. Our spark hurts it somehow. The architects discovered this when they brought early humans to their worlds. They took humans from Earth, asked Jiwoo in shock. A small group, yes, said Hejun. When the void attacked one of their colonies, the humans fought back without knowing how. Their thoughts, their emotions, their creativity, it all acted like a weapon against the void. So the architects brought these humans back to Earth, continued Minji. They left technology hidden around the planet, and they created the Watchers to protect this knowledge until humanity was ready. Ready for what? Asked Du-yeon. To join the fight, said Hejun simply. He pressed a button on the wall. Part of the floor slid open, revealing stairs going down. Come, he said. There is more you need to see. They followed him down the stairs into a large room carved from the mountain itself. In the center sat a crystal exactly like the one from Nexus 7, but much larger. Its blue glow lit the whole space. This is one of 7 architect keystones on Earth, said Hejun. Each contains knowledge and power. Together, they form a network spanning the planet. This is how you advanced so quickly, said Hyun-ki, understanding at last. Yes, said Hejun. The keystones helped us develop faster than normal. But that's not their main purpose. Minji placed her hand on the crystal. The blue light pulsed, growing brighter. The keystones are meant to amplify human consciousness, to turn our natural spark into a flame that can push back the void. Du-yeon moved closer to the crystal, feeling its energy. Your people know all this, but you've kept it secret from the galaxy. Why? The architects told us to wait, said Hejun. They said other species might fear us, or try to use us as weapons. We needed to grow strong enough to protect ourselves first. And are you strong enough now? Asked Hyun-ki. Hejun looked grim. We're about to find out. The void is moving again. We've been tracking it for years. How? Asked Jiwoo. Our sensors only just detected it. Because we were looking for it, said Minji. The architects taught us how to see it coming. We need to contact the Galactic Council, said Hyunki. They need to know all this. Yes, agreed Hejun. It's time for Earth to join the galaxy. But first, we need to fix your ship. The message will be better coming from you. As they left the crystal chamber, Minji stopped Do-yeon. There's something else, she said quietly. Something my father didn't mention. The void isn't just coming. It's coming here. Directly to Earth. Why? Asked Do-yeon with growing fear. Because it knows what we are, said Minji. And it's afraid of us. While Hyunki and his team learned the truth on Earth, trouble grew at the edge of the galaxy. Chancellor Yoon-hee stood in the Galactic Council's monitoring center. Large screens showed the outer rim planets, or what used to be planets. Now they showed only darkness. How many worlds have gone silent? She asked, her voice tight with worry. 7 in the last 2 days, answered Commander Junho. His uniform was wrinkled, and dark circles showed under his eyes. He hadn't slept in days. No signs of battle. No distress calls. They just stopped. Show me the pattern, ordered Yumi. A map appeared on the main screen. Red dots marked the silent worlds. They formed a line, moving slowly but steadily toward the center of the galaxy. And Earth? Asked Yuni. Where is it? Another dot appeared on the map. It wasn't in the direct path, but it wasn't far off either. Have we heard from Captain Hyunki's team? She asked. No, said Junho. No contact since they entered the Earth system. Diplomat Su-jin joined them, carrying a datapad. We finished the full translation of the architect's message, she said. Du-yen sent it before they went silent. What does it say? Asked Yuni. Su-jin read from the pad. The void consumes consciousness itself. It grows by absorbing the minds and knowledge of all it touches. We fought, but it learned from each battle. It adapted. Soon, it will find Earth. The humans must be ready, for only they carry the natural defense. Only the Earthborn can create faster than the void can consume. Only their spark can illuminate the darkness and drive it back. Create faster than it can consume, repeated Junho. What does that mean? I don't know, admitted Su-jin. But we need to find out. And we need to warn Earth, if Hyunki hasn't already. It's too late for warnings, said Junho grimly. We need action. I've prepared a fleet. We can reach Earth in 3 days. A fleet? Asked Su-jin. You plan to fight? No, said Junho. I plan to save what we can. If Earth truly has a defense against this void, we need to secure it, for the good of all remaining worlds. Yoon-hee nodded slowly. Prepare your ships, Commander. But remember, Earth is not our enemy. If humans can help us, we need them as allies, not subjects. Yes, Chancellor, said Junho, though his face suggested he had other ideas. As Junho left to prepare the fleet, Su-jin moved closer to Yuni. Do you think humans really have a special power against the void? She asked quietly. The architects thought so, said Yuni. And they were the most advanced species we know of. If they believed in humans, perhaps we should too. On another screen, they watched as a planet went dark in real time. One moment it was there, teeming with life and civilization. The next, all signals stopped. All lights went out. It was as if every conscious mind had simply winked out of existence at once. It's getting faster, whispered Su-jin in horror. Yes, agreed Yuni. It's learning, adapting. Each world it takes makes it stronger. How do we fight something like that? Asked Su-jin. I don't know, admitted Yuni. But soon, we're going to find out if humans do. Meanwhile, in deep space, the void moved between the stars. It wasn't a cloud or a ship or a being in any normal sense. It was a presence, a hunger, an emptiness that wanted to be filled. For millennia, it had consumed minds and knowledge across countless galaxies. Only once had it felt pain. Only once had it been pushed back. That was when it met the creatures called humans. Their minds were different, chaotic, creative, unpredictable. They could imagine things that didn't exist. They could think thoughts the void couldn't absorb. Now it sensed them again. Their sparks had grown stronger. Their minds had developed. They were a threat. And so, the void had changed course. It was coming for Earth. And nothing would stop it this time. The eternal dawn rose from the forest clearing, its engines humming with new power. Hejun and his team had worked for days to fix the ship. Now it was ready to fly again. "Thank you for your help," said Hyun-ki to Hejun and Minji, who stood watching the ship hover above the ground. "Just make sure the council listens," said Hejun. "The void will reach our solar system in less than a week." "We'll come with you," said Minji. "Earth's leaders need to meet the council face to face." Hyun-ki nodded. There was no time to argue. The ship needed to leave now. As they prepared to board, a sound filled the air, a deep hum that made the trees shake. Above them, the sky darkened as a massive ship passed overhead. "Is that yours?" asked Hejun, looking up in surprise. "No," said Hyun-ki, his face grim. "That's a Galactic Fleet command ship. Commander Junho has arrived." More ships appeared, filling the sky. Small fighter craft circled below them, scanning the ground. "They're looking for us," said Du-Yun. "Or for Earth's defenses," said Hyun-ki. Junho never believed in diplomacy. Hejun touched a device on his wrist. "I'm alerting our global network. Earth's defense systems are activating now." "Wait," said Hyun-ki quickly. "We don't want a war. The galaxy needs Earth's help, not its destruction." "Then we need to talk to both sides," said Jiwoo. "Before anyone starts shooting." On the largest ship above them, Commander Junho stood on the bridge, watching Earth on his screens. "Any sign of Captain Hyun-ki?" he asked. "We've found their ship," reported an officer. "It's powering up in a forest region." "Send a team to secure it," ordered Junho, "and continue scanning for energy sources. If Earth has weapons against the void, I want them found." "Commander," said another officer, "we're detecting energy shields activating all over the planet, and weapons systems. They know we're here." "Of course they do," said Junho with a cold smile. "I wanted them to see us coming." Fear often leads to cooperation. A new voice filled the bridge. "This is Global President Yun-Soo Choi of Earth. Your ships have entered protected space without permission. State your purpose or withdraw immediately." Junho raised an eyebrow. "They have a global government. Interesting." He stepped forward. "This is Commander Junho Ri of the Galactic Fleet. I come with urgent news. A threat called the Void approaches your world. I offer protection in exchange for your cooperation." There was a pause. Then, "Commander Ri, we are aware of the Void. We have been preparing for its arrival for generations. We invite you to land at our global headquarters to discuss an alliance, but your fleet must remain in high orbit." Junho frowned. This was not the response he expected from a supposedly primitive world. Before he could reply, a smaller ship rose from the planet below. The Eternal Dawn. It moved quickly toward his command ship. "Commander," said Hyun-ki's voice over the comm system, "I have representatives from Earth with me. They wish to speak with you and the Council." "Captain Hyun-ki," said Junho coldly, "you've exceeded your mission parameters." "The mission change," replied Hyun-ki, "and so has our understanding of Earth. These humans know about the Void. They've been preparing to fight it." "Impossible," said Junho. "It's true," said a new voice, Chancellor Yuni. Her image appeared on the main screen. She had been monitoring the situation from a nearby ship. "Commander, stand down your forces. I will speak with Earth's representatives directly." Junho's face tightened with anger, but he nodded. "Yes, Chancellor." Hours later, they all gathered in a large room beneath Earth's surface. The Global Council of Earth sat on one side of a round table. The Galactic Council representatives sat on the other. Between them stood a massive architect keystone, its blue light pulsing gently. "For thousands of years, we've kept our true capabilities hidden," said President Yunsu. "The architects warned us that some would fear us, others would try to use us as weapons. And what are your true capabilities?" asked Chancellor Yuni. President Yunsu smiled. "Let us show you." She placed her hand on the keystone. Across the planet, 6 other keystones lit up in response. A network of energy connected them all, forming a web that covered the entire Earth. "The architects left us more than technology," said Yunsu. "They left us understanding. They helped us develop our natural gifts, our creativity, our imagination, our ability to connect mind to mind." "And how does this help against the void?" asked Junho skeptically. "The void consumes consciousness," explained Hojun. "But humans create it faster than it can be consumed. Our minds are weapons, Commander. And Earth is ready to fight." On Earth, millions of people gathered around the 7 keystones. In space, the combined ships of Earth and the Galactic Fleet formed a protective ring around the planet. In the control center beneath Earth's surface, Jiwoo looked at the screens showing the void's approach. "It's bigger than we thought," she said quietly. Minji stood beside her. "It's been feeding, growing stronger with each world it takes." Commander Junho, who had finally accepted Earth as an ally, checked the weapons systems. "Our ships are ready, but conventional weapons won't stop something like that." "They don't need to," said President Yunsu. "They just need to buy us time." Chancellor Yoon, he looked at the massive keystone in the center of the room. "How does this work? How do human minds fight the void?" "We don't fight it directly," explained Hejun. "We create something it can't consume." "What?" asked Yuni. "Hope," said Minji simply. "Joy, love, the things that make consciousness worth having." Du Yun suddenly looked up from her screens. "The void has entered the system. It's moving faster than we predicted." Outside, in space, the darkness came. It flowed around planets and moons, leaving them cold and empty. Not destroyed, but lifeless. Every plant, every animal, every thinking being, their consciousness simply vanished, absorbed into the void. The first ships of the Galactic Fleet fired their weapons. Energy beams cut through the darkness, but it flowed back together, unharmed. On Earth, President Yunsu gave the order, "Activate the Keystone Network." All 7 keystones lit up at once. Their blue light grew brighter, connecting in a web that covered the planet. In cities and towns, in remote mountains and deep oceans, millions of humans placed their hands on smaller crystals connected to the network. "Everyone together," said President Yunsu. "Remember what makes us human." A wave of blue energy rose from Earth's surface. It wasn't a weapon or a shield. It was pure consciousness, the combined thoughts, feelings, and creativity of billions of minds working as one. In the control room, Jiwoo noticed something strange. "Minji, your hands." Minji looked down. Her skin glowed with the same blue light as the keystones. "Yours too," she said to Jiwoo. The 2 women stared at each other in surprise. "It's the marker," said Hejun with wonder in his voice. "The special gene the architects found in some humans. You both have it." "What does it mean?" asked Jiwoo. "It means you can connect directly to the network," said Hejun. "You can focus the energy." Minji reached out her hand. Jiwoo took it. The blue glow grew brighter between them. In space, the void reached the defensive line of ships. One by one, they went dark as it passed, their crews' minds consumed. "It's breaking through," said Commander Junho, watching the screens. "We're losing ships too quickly." "Now," said President Yunsu to Minji and Jiwoo, "focus the energy. Show it what humans can do." The 2 women closed their eyes. Through their connection, the power of Earth's combined consciousness flowed outward. It wasn't just light or energy. It was stories and songs, art and dreams, love and hope, everything that made humans unique. The blue wave met the darkness of the void in space. Where they touched, something new happened. The emptiness began to fill. The darkness began to glow. "What's happening?" asked Yuni, watching in amazement. "We're not destroying it," said Hejun. "We're changing it, filling it with something it never had before." The void struggled against the wave of human consciousness. For thousands of years, it had only known how to consume. But now it was being given something freely: creativity, imagination, connection. Slowly, the darkness retreated, not destroyed, but transformed, changed by contact with the one thing it couldn't simply absorb: the human spark. As the blue waves spread outward through the solar system, the ships that had gone dark lit up again. Minds returned to bodies, consciousness restored. "It worked," whispered Du Yan in amazement. "Not just here," said Hyun-Ki, pointing to long-range sensors. "Look!" Across the galaxy, planets that had gone dark began to glow again. The wave of human consciousness, amplified by the architect keystones, was healing the wounds the void had made. "The ancient spirits were right," said Chancellor Yumni. "Earth was the key all along." "Not Earth," corrected Tahoe gently. "Humans, the one species that can create faster than the void can consume." As the darkness retreated further into deep space, transformed by its contact with humanity, Earth took its place among the stars. Not as a primitive world to be protected, but as the savior of galactic consciousness itself. The ancient spirits had faded without a trace, but their warning about Earth had saved everyone.